Taz, go to bed.
Yes. Go. Come on, Taz. Go. Clear him and remote. Clear. Clear.
Yes.
Hand me the remote.
Why, you like to watch something?
I want to put no sound on.
Okay.
I've been waiting for the Lakers.
Oh, yeah, they're on.
And went to sleep watching. I mean, waiting for it. Went to sleep about waiting for 6:30. So I couldn't sleep.
Is this one your guys's?
I would just put it over there.
Is this your towel?
Yes.
She's already awake, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've seen a couple guys carry the ball for them when Derrick Henry was out, so they don't find ways whether it's A.J. Brown, Dominic Smith.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Awesome. Type everyone in the chat if you're having a good day. And also, I want everybody that's on this call to hit me up and let me know when they're at, or, where they're from, where you're tuning in from. I'm doing amazing. Awesome. Sick. So, for all the people that are new to this, welcome to the intro to the London session. For all my people that's on the team, welcome. This is how we're going to be formulating the calls from now on. And any individual that's new to this, that's new to this, what we do, basically I run through the basics of the foreign exchange market. Very, very basic, and then I give the panel up for the next 15 minutes for every individual to type in any questions, any concerns, any pairs they want me to look at, or just show some love. We structure the call for about an hour. We do personal development, going over that personal development, and then heading into the technicals. So it's going to be very, very structured, very planned out. I want to thank every individual for showing up to this call. I really do appreciate it. Well, I shouldn't call it a call. It's a stream now. I upgraded. But I thank you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get straight into it. I know we're a little short on time. Also, please like and subscribe to the channel. And turn on the notifications button, because it then allows you to get notified every time I do these calls. These calls will be done at 9:30 Pacific time, 10:30 Mountain Standard Time, every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we're doing 5 times a week now. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on the personal development. 1 second.
Most name brand bars and body washes you rub on your skin are classified by the FDA as
In the game of chess, the average chess player knows their next 1 to 3 moves. Amateur. How many guys play chess here? Any chess players here? The average chess player knows their next 1 to 3 moves. A pro knows 4 to 5, a master knows 6 to 10, a grandmaster knows their next 11 to 15 moves. By the way, the same thing you see here with chess is the same thing with the game of life. Most people live life, they have no clue what their next 10 moves are going to be. They just know their next 1 to 3 moves. A lot of people in life want to do move number 14 in move number 2. Wrong timing. I don't know if that made sense. A lot of people want to do move number 14 at move number 2, and it doesn't work out for them. So this whole game about business is about you knowing your next 15 moves. Now, outcome of this meeting, 2 things. 1, who do you want to be? How do you want to make your money? Because it's all about your positioning in a marketplace. So now, who do you want to be? By the way, almost every single time I talk to somebody and I'll ask them, who do you want to be? These are your positions. You want to be an entrepreneur? You want to be an investor, inventor, CEO, founder? Do you want to be a CEO of a small business? Do you want to be CEO of a big Fortune 500? Do you want to be CEO of a startup? Do you want to be a sales guy? Do you want to be volume or high ticket? What's volume? I'll do $400,000 loans. High ticket, I only do $3 million loans. You want to be an influencer? I want to be these guys that, perfect butt, and I just take a picture and I get 79,000 likes. I just want to walk in places and people take pictures of me. I want to be famous, man. That's what I want to be. I want to be an influencer. Podcasts, Instagram. I want everyone to know me when I go into the mall or the airport. Solopreneur. I don't want people to hold me accountable. I just kind of want to be me. I'm like the tennis player. I'm the golf guy. It's solo. Me. I'm going to be able to handle myself. No one's as perfect as me. No one's as good as me. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But that's you. And then there's support team. I'm good on support, Pat. I don't want to be on the stage. I don't want to be the CEO. I'm a good 6 person. I'm a good 8 person. I try to be number 1. I can't stand it. I hate it. I don't want to go to sleep at night knowing everything's on me. I want to go to sleep at night knowing everything's on a guy who's got 3 people, then these people need support, and it's me. I like that. That's my comfort zone. Great. Or you want to be an entrepreneur. You know what? I want to go be part of a company and within it grow up to be a CIO, CTO, CCO, COO, whatever, and I want to own a piece of the company, but I don't want to be number 1. I want to be an entrepreneur. And within the company, I want to think like an entrepreneur, and I want to own a piece of the company, and that's how I want to make my wealth. But that's who I want to be. Well, most people are like, well, I like this guy on Instagram. Maybe I'll be like him. Yeah, I kind of like that girl. Maybe I'll be like her. It'd be kind of cool if I knew how to take good selfies like her. It'd be cool if I can do this. But we don't really know who we want to be. So how do you make your money? Wealth. Marriage. Marry a rich person. Fastest way to become a millionaire. Equity. I want to get a piece of the company. That's how I'm going to create my wealth. No problem. Build to sell. I want to build a company, run it for 5 years, sell it, get my 20 million, go enjoy myself, right? That's what I want to do. Buy and hold domains. I have a collection of 1,000 domains. Somebody wants to buy this domain, $300,000 check. Eventually I'll make 6 million. I'm good. That's all I want to do. Long-term planning, the typical get a job, 401k, all that stuff. Lottery, be an influencer. If I become an influencer and every time people want me to do a certain shout out, $5,000, $3,000, $8,000, that's who I want to be. Proprietary product, use my product. I keep 20%, you keep 80%, but it's my product. Invest. I want to invest in a business, let somebody else do the work, and I make the return on the money. Sue somebody. I like to sue people. Like somebody will say, I'm going to sue. If I sue the right person, make a couple $1 million. There's a lot of people that become millionaires suing people. Anybody knows anybody that's made money suing people? There's a lot of people in America. Guys, I remember I went to a meeting one time. This guy's giving a talk. He says, do you know why kids in America are obese? Why are we experiencing so many kids being heavy? So one guy says video games, one guy says this, one guy says, he says, let me show you a statistic. He shows the statistic of parks in America. Dramatic drop-off by 70% shutting down. He says, do you know why? Let me show you why. Then he shows lawyers go sit at parks all day waiting for a kid to drop off, hit their elbow, crack the elbow. Oh, is that your son? That's not fair with this. It's the city's fault. It's the city's fault. Come here, let me see that arm. Perfect. I will represent you. He's feeling good. Are you hurt as a mother? I will get you $1 million. You deserve $1 million for this, Mary. I will take care of you. They go to the city. They sue the city. Get $1 million. He keeps 33%, 330 grand. They get 660,000 hours. Next part shuts down. Obese. So a lot of people become resume people. This is a weird world. I just don't want to make it like that, right? Own land. You own land, and Walmart says, hey, some of you guys have never been to Palmdale. Desert, 7 Walmarts in Palmdale. If you have a land, Walmart comes and says, I want this land. I'll pay you this much money. No problem. Not the way making millions. Design, inheritance. How many guys have the right last name here? Who has the right last name here? Anybody's got the right last name? Yes. How many guys have a last name with your family so rich that you know that money's coming to you? Anybody here? Any Kennedys here? Any Rockefellers? Yes? Any Escobars, right? Any El Chapos in here? I don't know. We got some names out there, right? It's probably more El Chapos than Escobars here. Maybe it could be a difference as well. Okay. So how are you going to make your money? So what's your game plan? Who are you going to be? How are you going to make your money? By the way, just so you know, it is the easiest time ever in the history of mankind to be a millionaire. Ever. It's the easiest time ever to be a millionaire. It's never been easier than today. Ever. It's a joke today to be a millionaire. It's a joke today to be a millionaire. It's so let me explain it to you. You know how celebrities used to be like, a person was on TV, we would be like, oh my gosh, Mom, look, it's the weather guy. It's the weather guy. Mom, it's Burger King, it's 1998. It's the weather guy. Oh my gosh, it's the weather guy. Mom, it's crazy. Today, oh hey John, what's up? You know why? Why? Because people follow YouTubers more than they follow weather guys. Instagram influencers have more following than a weather guy does. It's no longer a big deal to be a celebrity. Just so you know, social media, here's what it did. It made the whole celebrity thing gone. There is no more value at being a celebrity. And language. Let me speak about lens first. Earlier, it's so easy today. Your strategy is what needs help. So let's talk about it. Where most people struggle, lens and language. Let me speak about lens first. Earlier, a guy comes to me and he starts talking to me and he says, hey, Patrick, we were at the, how many guys were at the CEO at the luncheon that they had? Who was at the luncheon deal, right? Who was at this luncheon when this one kid was talking to me? Where is he at? I want to find him. I'm not going to call him out. I just want to find him. Is he CEO package guy or no? Are you anywhere here? Wink at me. I got big eyes. I'll find you. Okay. All right. Let me tell you what this kid did. So he comes up and here's how he starts it. He says, Patrick, I can't even tell you changed my life. Your content is incredible. It's absolutely ridiculous. I learned so much from you. And he goes for 30 seconds. No one's doing that so far because they just want to come and ask a question because it's another. So I'm thinking like this is getting somewhere. And then he says, here's my card. If you ever want to buy any real estate in Nevada, Vegas, just call me. And I said, do you know what you just did? He said, what? I said, what you just did to me is like a guy at a bar going to a girl and saying the following thing. Saying, hey, you're so stunning. You're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you're the hottest thing here. If you ever want to go to bed, call me. I'm like, you're serious? I said, so let me get this straight. Your lens here is you're just looking at everybody as a customer. That's a wrong lens. That's a small lens. He says, what do you mean? I'm not coming like that. I said, you are. But the guy had a good attitude about it. I said, let me give you a story. Years ago, I had a guy. Right before me, another guy came up to me and he said, Pat, actually I saw his face. He says, Pat, we know the same name. A guy named Eli Dafish, right? Where's the guy that said Eli? Did you say Eli? So he comes to me and he says, hey, Pat, we know the same name, a guy named Eli. And I told him who Eli was to me. I was 21 years old when I met Eli at an event by LAX Airport. So I get close to Eli. I get invited to his 50th birthday party. I go to his house. I'm a nobody. I'm selling gym memberships at Valley Total Fitness. A guy comes to me. He's one of the biggest attorneys in Vegas. He comes to me, and he says, so I said, so what do you do? He says, I'm an attorney for Hollywood, this is what I'm an attorney. He gave me some big names. I'm like, okay. He says, what do you do? I said, I work at Bally's. He said, oh yeah, so you run the casino in Vegas? I said, no, I'm the weekend assistant manager at Hoy Total Fitness, right? Oh, and you know Eli? Yeah. Oh, okay, very cool. Good to meet you, right? I stayed the night. At the end, I'm washing the dishes for this lady. Her name is Jolena. It's his wife. I'm washing the dishes. I talked to Eli. I said, Eli, how can I help you? He says, Patrick, you can't really help me in any way but one way. I said, what is it? I said, my son's in prison for 9 years. I said, okay. He says he did something he shouldn't have done. I said, what prison is he at? Men's Colony. Anybody knows Men's Colony near San Luis Obispo? You don't know it? It's not a good prison. It's a hardcore prison, like Mara Salvatrucha, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a hardcore prison, okay? So he says, none of my friends and relatives want to go visit this guy. His friends won't want to go there. I said, I'll go. He says, you sure? I said, absolutely. He says, but this is not a regular. I said, do background check, whatever. They got my background. It took 30 days. I go to prison. I'm sitting there all day with them, in there. He says, that guy shanked that guy. He was in the hole. He just got up. He's just up, and he's sitting like this. He said, Pastor, just sit. I'm not even kidding with you guys. He's sitting like, I never forget this day. We took a picture. I got the picture until today. Picture was taken 2001. So I come back. Eli's emotional. He says, I can't believe you just did that for me. I said, funny. You know, what do you mean I did that for you? It's your son. He says, how can I help you? I said, I don't know. He says, here's the 600 most influential name I know. You can use my name to call them to help you out with whatever you want. I said, you're serious? Serious. It's okay. I came back. I called them. One of the contacts introduced me to another person, who introduced me to another person, who introduced me to another person, who introduced me to another person, maybe $30 million. One contact. Why? Because I didn't say, hey, you want to go to bed? No, I went and I said, how can I help you? Almost everybody in this room, all you have to do is just take the lens off you have, put a different lens on. Because when you put a lens on, you just look at the world in a whole different way. You're not looking at everybody here that I'm just trying to figure out a way what I can get for me. It's a completely different lens, right? So the most people have a challenge of what? Lens. Second challenge is language. A lot of people, I listen to their language and I'm like, oh my gosh, this language is just not the right language. What do you mean by language? I'll give you an idea. So while I'm speaking to the same group, a guy comes up to me. He says, Patrick, I'm a loan officer. If you were in the loan game, what would you do to get customers? I said, so tell me who's your ideal customer. Here's what he says to me. He says, somebody who is currently a homeowner, has high interest rates, and would like to find a way to get more write-offs. I said, what else? He says, I said, what else? He doesn't have an answer for me. I said, okay, let's go a completely different direction. He says, what's that? I said, you single? I grabbed his left hand. He had a nice watch on, but he didn't have a ring. I said, you single? You're not married? I said, I'm not married. I said, okay, you got a girlfriend? He said, I don't have a girlfriend. I said, great. Okay, perfect. I said, so tell me, you ever want to be in a relationship? I do. What kind of girl are you looking for? He said, I want her to be top-notch. I said, listen, who remembers when he said top-notch? You're one of the girls. I want her to be top-notch. I said, you got to be very careful when you say a word like that because it's very general. I said, you ever seen Shallow Hal? Because top-notch has a different meaning for a lot of different people. I said, give me specifics. Okay, this guy's like 6'5", 6'6", little taller than me. He says, I want her to be 5'7", 5'8". I said, great. What else? I want her to have light eyes. I said, look, you and I have brown eyes. What if she has brown eyes? Will you still go out with her? I think I would. So put the eyes aside. So I said, what else? And then he was stuck. I said, you're just not going to find your girl. He says, what do you mean? I said, you have no clue what kind of a girl you're looking for. I said, let me tell you what. I said, by the way, how many of you here know a girl that's 5'7", 5'8"? Raise your hand. Do you see how wide this is, right? But you know what kind of a lead you can give them? I know 82-year-olds that are 5'7". Say, hey, I got a 5'7" person for you, Pat. She's 82. All you told me was 5'7". She's 5'7", 82. But that's not what I want. Well, then tell the world what you want. So I said, look, here's what I did. I was dating all these girls. They were all the same. One day, you know how guys and girls, we all complain, where are all these great women at? I'm telling you, there's no more good women nowadays. And these men, oh my gosh, look at them today. And we complain. It is not the men or the women. It's your language and it's your lens. So I sat back. I said, Pat, what are you looking for? I went specific. Toes, eyebrows, cooking. I could care less about nationality because I'm okay there. But for me, whatever you are, you got to learn to make my dad's cooking. I don't care what it is, because I want the house to be good smelling food. If the house smells like food, kids come to the house. I want you to learn how to make these 5-6 dishes my dad makes and my mom makes. I'm good. I don't care what you're doing. I want it to be curry or I want it to be this. So I wrote it down, what I wanted. You know what I did next? I told everybody, here's what I'm looking for. Hey, I'm looking for this kind of a girl. Okay, cool. Here's the criteria. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. Hey! Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a girl like this. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. Then all of a sudden they started showing up. And then I picked my wife. She's sitting over there. Right now we got married. It's my criteria though. Moral of the story. Lens, language. Change the lens, change the language. Business is all about lens.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Who here had some type of breakthrough from that? Who here had some type of got some type of knowledge off of that video really fast? Who here was paying attention? Right? Type of 111 in the chat if you got something from that video. That was Patrick. Wait, no, was it? Yeah, Patrick David. Yeah, Patrick Bet David. I always forget his name. Awesome. So, when you really think about it, right? Conceptually, when you create, when you join a profession, whether that's joining finally stepping foot into your career. If for all the athletes or previous athletes, when you finally get that call that you got an offer to a D1 school, or for those entrepreneurs out there where you finally take that step, that leap of faith, and do what you desire to do, but you don't have the right language or you're the right lens, what happens, right? Right? Imagine if you were so specific, so technical on what you wanted, how easy it could be to formulate a game plan on that, right? First thing he's talked about was how chess is a game of life, right? That when you correlate your life 15 to 20 moves ahead, there's endless possibility for growth. Now, I'm not talking about creating a tremendous amount of game plan and not sticking to it. It takes discipline, it takes skill, it takes what's the other word I'm looking for? Sacrifice. It takes these things to achieve your goals. But at the end of the day, the first step is always finding what you want, what you desire, right? So when you learn how to use your language to manifest something truly definite within your heart, that can formulate into something physically in reality, something that you've never could have dreamed of. But it all takes back into focusing on the language and what language you use. And to get back to the lens, you know, that's pretty specific. Me and my grandmother, we're talking about today how faith is a tricky thing. You know, one thing about faith though that is pretty similar in every religion is the belief in something greater than yourself, right? Now, who can relate in some sense that when you chose to take that step to believe in something greater than yourself, your business, your life, your relationships changed drastically. Type a 1 in the chat if that's true. You know, when it comes to growth, you have to, especially in business, you have to take the lens off of, I'm going to make this amount of money, I'm going to make this next dollar, I'm going to do this, that, to, wow, how many lives can I change? How many people can I serve? What kind of impact can I make off of my legacy? Right? So how does this formulate in trading? What are you trading for? Are you trading for that new Ferrari, which is not bad? Once again, your goals are never wrong. I just want to broaden your perspective on things. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to create a different mindset for you. I want to develop, like I did within myself, is that, yeah, I was trading for that dope Tesla truck, right? All my electric car fans out here. But then I really started to think about it, like, my mom has an e-commerce store that she's just started. Doesn't really know much about it. I can give her the money to go to a very, very professional seminar, and she can change her business to the full. My dad just got engaged. I can put that down payment on his house so that he can have his dream home. I can recuperate a foundation of capital that I can create businesses and generational wealth within my family without giving a check to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to bring out, is changing the lens to something that really, really affects your heart on a deeper level, right? Awesome. So, once again, I want to thank every individual that made it to this call. I really appreciate it, especially the people that are on the team, because this gives you the opportunity to ask questions that you don't usually feel comfortable asking, especially for the individuals that are in the platform that aren't really feeling comfortable asking the questions on the session, or even going to the person that got you signed up to ask. Once again, I want to give you the opportunity to type whatever you have that's an issue in the chat box, whatever. Type it in the chat box, go ahead and ask it. I'll give everybody 5 minutes to type in the chat box what they have as far as trading, as far as personal stuff, whatever. Just type it in the chat box and we'll go ahead and get straight to it, right? Also trade setups as well. I'm going to go ahead and get what I wanted to go over as well today set up. So 5 minutes, guys. Sheesh. Crazy. Ooh, uh-oh. Is this a trade setup? What? Already? That's crazy. Damn. Uh-oh. Live example, break and retest. No. Yes, I do look at gold. I do not look at Bitcoin. That for me, trading Bitcoin is a little bit more complicated. You know, but I do look at gold. I do look at other pairs as well. I will go over how I get those pairs and what I do to you know, create that. Oh, man, that's not what I wanted. But yeah, I can look over gold for you too. Just give me 1 second. No, it's not what I wanted to do. Classic. 3 more minutes, guys. 3 more minutes. Sheesh. Another trade set up live. Called this one out last week. Already in profit. Maybe like 2 or 3 pips. Yeah, around 2 pips. 2 pips profit. This year's gonna be crazy, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be insane. 1 more minute, guys. 1 more minute. Reserve here. Okay. Sick. Any more questions? Please put them in the chat now. I wanna get that done. We'll give every individual 2 more minutes. Awesome. This might be a big one. Oof. Sheesh. Okay. Alright, cool. So we'll go ahead and get started. So first question that somebody had was, is there a specific pairs you look at often, or do you look at everyone? Or probably every pair. Do you look at BTC or gold? So no, I do not look at Bitcoin. The reason why I don't look at Bitcoin is because there's a certain way you have to trade it. I'm a strictly price action trader. I do involve harmonics in my trading style, but specifically price action. So no, Bitcoin requires a little bit more indicators, and for me, I just haven't looked into it to be completely honest and comfortable in taking that and giving you some information on that pair. So unfortunately, I will not. But if you are in the academy, I recommend going to Crypto Picasso. He goes over his strategy, and I mean, he's a god at it. So yeah, gold I do take a look at. Gold. I don't trade every pair all the time. I don't look at every pair all the time, I should say. But I do use a tool within the Mastery Academy's platform called the Harmonic Scanner to give me my indication. Do I use fibs at all? No, I do not. The reason why I don't use fibs is because the pairs that I pick, I'll show you how to pick pairs. I don't trade during the trend if I don't have a position already. So I'll go ahead and explain that as well. But building the business. Okay, how can I help somebody who doesn't do anything, but yet they want to change? You can't do anything. You can only tell them and teach them, not necessarily teach them, but inform them on what you do and recommend what you would do. But you cannot necessarily make anybody do anything. That's one of the things that I learned very quickly in this business is that, you try to give somebody information and a platform, and sometimes they just don't want to take advantage of it, which is up to them. That's perfectly fine. So I would say just show by example, show that you care, show love, show compassion, always check in, but don't beat a dead horse, and continue to move forward. That's how I would answer that. UJ, I will take a look at that, or I already did. It's right here, and as you can see, bam, profit. But I use both Price Trap, but look at Ford Factory for gold. Perfectly fine. I don't necessarily look at news anymore simply because my trading style doesn't necessarily require it, but it is a good tool to use. For 2020, I want to master 3 to 5 pairs and stick to those for the whole year. What are your thoughts on sticking to certain pairs? Cool. So, to give a quick background on how I trade, right? So, the first thing that I initially do to get my trade setups is I go to the harmonic scanner. Guys, I recommend, and if you are on Chris's team, if you're in the team in AZ, I would recommend listening to the people that are teaching you. If Chris says, find a money-making app and use it, I recommend doing that. The reason why is because it can change your life. I mean, like UJ, I got this trade from the harmonics. Look at this. Strictly harmonics. Cross level of support, retested, is heading on the downside. But this is where I find my trades. It's simply because I tend to focus on, okay, if I was to go through every pair on the Forex market, every major pair, that's like, 25, 30 pairs? That's a lot of information that I'm ingesting. Whereas I can come to the harmonic scanner and just focus on the pairs that are listed, right? GBP CAD, right? Euro CAD, right? NZD CAD, right? Even though these pairs are pretty much done with, like NZD CAD I wouldn't trade, but Euro CAD makes sense, right? GBP CAD definitely makes sense, right? So when it comes to finding setups, I use this tool to make my life easier. Because if I can find a quality setup on the harmonic scanner, that means it's worth me doing my next analysis on it, right? Which my next analysis is I write down my trades that I'm potentially taking in my trade journal. So if you want to take this business to the next level, if you want to take this serious, right? You guys gotta have a trading journal. Type it 111 in the chat if you have a trading journal. But yeah, guys, like trading journal. I write down my potential setups, and then I go to my trading view and I chart, right? So for those that watch Christopher Derek's live sessions, my trading style is pretty much the same. I used to use Fib. I used to use all of these things, but in reality, those things didn't necessarily make my trading different. It didn't make it better. It made it harder. Made it harder for me, right? So, with Fib, especially, it's very hard to find the true trend, right? I mean, most people would say that the trend is this, right? And then they would sell this position. But in reality, price still went back up, so that was a bad trade. Then they'll say, oh, this is the trend. But in reality, what's the true trend? This or this? So how are you able to put a fib if you don't know what the true trend is, right? Same thing with any other pattern is that, like, it's very hard for you to find a do you set price alerts? Yes, I do set price alerts, but it's very hard to find these kind of things in terms of, you know, looking and drawing involving trends. So Fibonacci requires trends, so I don't necessarily focus on Fib. The way I trade is based off of support and resistance, right? So when I'm on the harmonic scanner, I look for pairs that are in major levels of consolidation, and I draw where the levels of support and resistance are. I trap price. Very simple. So for this trade, my initial zone was right here. I had set it and then deleted it for some reason, but you know, I knew mentally that my zone was there before the market was open, and then my next zone was up here, right? So I was waiting for price to break this zone and create and retest, right? So the retest just happened a couple hours ago, created a ceiling. Right? And with this ceiling, it allowed, you know, you to be comfortable to take the trade. The ceiling suggests that it's a new level of resistance, a ceiling, which means a continuation of the trend. Price dropped drastically and then created a new level of resistance, which creates a new trend, which signifies a comfortable sell on this setup. Right? So that's simply how I trade. I trade price action based on support and resistance. You really don't need to trade anything else, especially when you're using the harmonic scanner. Like I said, the harmonic scanner does the hard work for you because it looks at pairs that are high probability setups. Same thing with EuroCAD. This trade was on the harmonic scanner last week. I had charted this up last week, and I also, I believe, sent it out in the Telegram chat for the people that are on the team. Same thing, right? Break, created a floor, level of support. Safe to say that this is a buy. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes to, you know, taking trades and feeling comfortable taking trades, you have to come up with a checklist that you follow. For me, my checklist is that the trade has to come from the harmonic scanner. The checklist has to come from the The trade has to meet my requirements on the harmonic scanner, and then I have to create a level of support and a level of resistance. And then after that, I set alerts. And then after that, I create I create a waiting period where I wait for price to break and retest. Once prices break and retest, I have been able to create a activation list. Once that pair is activated, then I take my entry, I trail the entry, and then I twin trade it and all that good stuff. Does anybody? So how many people on the stream actually? Okay, do you set price alerts? Yes, not just use it, but look at pairs there. Okay, cool. So does anybody have any questions on that? I kind of went through that fast, but you know, I want to see who doesn't really understand, so I can go over, you know, what I need to go over. What are your requirements? To write them out, I can type them out really fast. My first requirement is find probability I think this is how you spell probability. Setups. And harmonic scanner. 2. Journal those potential setups. 3. Draw support and resistance. 4 and ceiling. 4 set alerts. I recommend every individual to get the pro setting on TradingView because it allows you to set 10 alerts. very helpful. 5 waits for break and retest signifies a start of a new trend or a continuation. Six, set 2 orders for a twin trade and stop loss 20 to 30 pips based on market structure. Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Can everybody see that? So that is my checklist. Alright, find high probability setups in the harmonic scanner, journal those potential setups, draw support and resistance, or floor and ceiling, set alerts, wait for break and retest. This signifies a start of a new trend or a continuation. Sorry. I'm off perfectionist, sorry. And then 6, set 2 orders for a twin trade and stop loss 20 to 30 pips based on market structure. Alrighty. Everybody understand that? You have time, but can you look at UJ? I don't use the harmonic scanner to look at pairs. I just use it to take in trades. Okay. I did look at UJ. My analysis is that it's safe trade to take. If you want to be safe, because I consider this a retest. There's nothing really about it. Set your stop loss at the top right here, and if it breaks that, then be patient. Maybe wait for another trade. But for me, this signifies, if you want to go in 15 minute, let's go in 15 minute. This signifies a rejection, right? Price came back, touched the zone, rejected. Simple. Now it can come back up, which is fine, but I say it's a safe trade to take. EuroCAD is the same way. It could potentially come back down, which is fine. If anything, just close at break even. But for me, I'm comfortable where I'm at. GJ. Okay. Yeah, I have that. So, GJ is very simple. I did this before. My level of resistance or ceiling is right here, being the fact that this was originally a support level, then a resistance level. So easily a strong level of resistance or a ceiling. My support level, I believe I'm going to move it up, simply for the fact that price is consolidating within this level right here. Which was also a ceiling, floor, ceiling. So I think I'm going to move my zone down a little bit. So yeah. Does anybody else have any questions? You please, I agree, I'm moving forward. Awesome. So yeah, just patiently wait for the break and retest. Does anybody have any questions? I understand that you guys want me to throw set up pairs that I can look at, but any questions in regards to if you're not understanding, if you're completely new to this, and steps that you should be taking within the academy, or even if you're not in the academy and you want more information, just any questions, Euro USD. So price broke the floor that I had. The ceiling that I had. But it is showing signs of rejection. For me, it would have to create a floor and then show levels of bullish movement, but it's still not ready to take. Still not ready to take. My general rule of thumb for a take profit, because I'm a twin trader as well, is first trade has to hit at least 25 to 30 pips profit, and then that's where I set my TP. I close that trade closes out, and then I trail my stop loss on my second order. After 30 pips, I move my stop loss to 10 pips take profit, and then once that 30 pips goes up to 60, my take profit goes up another 10 pips. My stop profit goes up another 10 pips. But jumped in early. Yeah, I would recommend a 30 pip stop loss. Where do you set your TP, or what's your daily goal in terms of pips per day? At least 30 pips on that first trade. When I take that trade. When I take that trade, the goal is 30 pips. The reason why I say that is simply because when you formulate your goals based off of daily pips, it kind of messes you up, because then you start to force trades. But specific broker you use, I cannot recommend a broker to you. I apologize, but the broker, I can't tell you the broker that I use is Hugo's Way. I cannot recommend that you go use them. I love them, so yeah, you go ahead and do your research and take a look at them and see if you like them or not. If you set your 30 pip stop loss, where do you set your TP? Okay, so if I set my 30 pip stop loss, your ratio always has to be 1 to 2. Your win to loss ratio always has to be 1 to 2. So if I set my 30 pip stop loss, I have to set my take profit at 60 pips, right? In order for you to kind of make that investment worth the while, in a sense. So the reason why I twin trade is because it gives me the opportunity to cut the risk in half. And usually if it follows the rules, it goes that way, in that direction anyway. 80% profitability. So realistically, I recuperate on average around 60 to 100 pips on the trade if you combine the two trades together. But the goal is always 30 pips. Always 30 pips. And yeah, that's how I would set my TP. 60 pips in profit. You can set your pips 30 pips in profit as well, and just follow the twin trading rule. If you twin trade, you need to count pips to set your stop loss or TP, because your USD count is different than, say, USD JPY. Okay. So actually, there's an academy video on that. I recommend every individual to go into the academy to see how, if you're on the platform, to see how you count pips on Trader's Way. But to show you specifically, pips is always the last number on the right here, where it says 1.1937. That means it's 7. So if your pips go up here, basically that means that you're 18 pips in profit, and so on and so forth, right? So when you're counting pips, you just use the ruler right here, and then this number 32.2 tells you how many pips you're in profit for or not in profit for. And USD JPY, the reason why it's different is because it goes off a thing called a pipette. So the number that's at the end, don't focus on it, only focus on the second number. So for instance, it says 291, only focus on the 29. That'll give you can correlate how many pips you've gained or lost in that sense. Yeah, using the ruler as well is a great tool. Yeah, that's how I find how many pips I've gained and lost. So right now, the best trades to look at, UJ already took an entry on that. GBP CAD and GBP JPY, I am waiting on patiently. These trades are very good trade setups. Honestly, I'm gonna move this down. I like this spot there. Simply because I see this formation right here of this like ceiling, and then it retested and then shot down. And then there's a ceiling right here, and then this created a floor. So also right here, ceiling, floor. I love that zone better. So yeah. The reason why I don't do that, I don't do that necessarily, simply because, well, the day is based on perspective. Because yes, I will take trades in 6 o'clock in the morning, which is during the day, because that is still the New York London session overlap. But as far as taking trades like at 4 or 5, not necessarily, simply because most of my trades don't usually activate around that time, and during those sessions, like the Australian and Japanese session, or Tokyo session, sorry, most orders, there's not a lot of fluctuation of orders going in, because a lot of the banks that are big and major are closed. So all the big movers aren't in the game at that point, which means that price is going to move very, very slow. So I just trade the London to New York session most of the time. How is your routine in the morning? Jeff R, are you in the team? Are you on the team? I just want to ask. It depending on how I need to explain this or not. Yeah, not necessarily an AZ, but are you under Lewis? Awesome. I just wanted to make sure, just because you know, the way I explain it is based off of what he's explaining, because Chris is my mentor. Most of the things that I formulated as far as my routine in terms of trading is been off of his guidance. So when it comes to my daily routine, I always focus on non-negotiables and my daily methods of operation. To be very specific with you, if you want that, in the morning, the first thing I do is hydrate, water, and then the next thing I do is meditation for 10 to 15 minutes. I don't think so, unfortunately. Yeah, no. So it's perfectly fine. So when it comes to, I meditate after I hydrate for 10 to 15 minutes, and then after that I am creating my gratefuls, my 10 gratefuls, and then I go work out for an hour. So within that routine, I am checking my trades and checking my phone, but I'm not necessarily on the charts 24/7 because I'm not a scalper or a high frequency trader. I am purely just a price action trader, and my trades don't necessarily require that much work. So yeah, my morning routine is really easy. I wake up, I kiss my girl on the cheek, and I start my DMOs, and you know, I go about my day. I'm not necessarily on the charts 24/7. I check around every hour or so, but I'm not going crazy on the charts taking more trades, entering more orders, because at the end of the day, it's unnecessary. Yeah. You know, I have a schedule. Where I plan, Lewis taught me this, planning, my day out on what I need to do and stuff like that. Just, DMOs, workout, personal development, stuff on the building side, creating content, stuff like that. And then the calls, of course, so, am I full-time tinker? Yeah, I trade every day. Full-time, this is not my only position, but I do it every day. I don't miss a day. What is my why? Yeah, that's a deep one. My why consists of a plethora of things, but to explain it to you, I grew up not necessarily impoverished, but not in the best situation. South Central LA, had a little bit of, I wouldn't say a little bit, but just didn't come from, a nice part of my life, struggled a little bit with my mom, there, situations like that. But I, did the route where I went to school and I tried to find some type of balance within my life and find my purpose. But that didn't necessarily, college didn't give me that outlet. So I basically went through stages of depression, immense amount of self-pity, and I hated where I was at. But, this opportunity was given to me. I went all in and I told myself I'm never looking back because I love this. So my why, my motivation every day is to continue to do what I love and to continue to serve people that need it. Show this to people that they really need it. Because I needed it, and I saw how much of a change it made for me. I do have a little more personal things that I won't get into on this session, but it stems from just serving and being grateful that this opportunity was given to me, because now it's the thing I love to do the most. Yeah. It's a really good question. I like that question. Can I favor that? Man. That could be kind of cool if I could favor that. Awesome. Does anybody have anything else that they want me to take a look at? Tell new traders your biggest fear was starting off in Forex and how you feel about it now. Did you overcome my fear? My biggest fear at Forex. Wow. Ooh. My biggest fear in Forex was becoming so overwhelmed that I didn't think I was capable of becoming good at it. And how do I feel about that now? That is completely absent from my mind. I mean, when I first started, I was just struggling so much in terms of creating, some type of, it was bad. Like, I would fail a lot. I blew a couple accounts and it was just bad. That's the best I can explain it. But I just never gave up. I really never gave up. I continued to push forward. I continued to grow and sustain myself. And lo and behold, I created a set of, I just, continued to keep going in. And then I created, a foundation for myself through developing myself personally and spiritually. That transcended into my trading career and it allowed me to create a foundation for myself. And that was one of the biggest things that I needed to do in terms of that. How do you feel about it now? Did you overcome that fear? Yeah, I completely overcame it. I know this is going to work. It's beyond desiring. It's DNA. Like, it's embedded in me that this is going to work. Undeniable, fact. Yes, I will be attending London. So 10:48. Awesome. Does anybody else have anything that they want to discuss? Anything that they might need help on? Any other questions? Yeah, I switched it over. I feel like I kind of just like roaming around. I go dark and then I go light and I go dark and light. I don't know. I think this is a little bit more appealing for teaching purposes, but dark is a little bit more easier on the eyes. So, alright, cool. So, it is 10:50 in LA, which means it's 11:50 in AZ, right? I want to thank truly, really want to thank every individual for getting onto this call. Guys, I cannot explain how much this means to me, simply because, I really didn't think I was going to be able to do this, be able to get to this point. It's really, 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 really a gift to be able to do this for you guys and serve you guys in this way. Once again, my socials should be on the screen. Let me check just to make sure. Yes, my socials should be on the screen. So within that, go ahead and just follow those. If you have any other questions, please go ahead and DM me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever you have. Guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. But before I go, I always ask every individual, please go ahead and type a 1 or a fire emoji in the chat if you got some type of value from this session. I thank everybody for coming on. These will be every single day in terms of the trading week. Every time Chris does a live session, I will be doing one as well for an intro to give you guys the opportunity to go ahead and ask questions. Type a 1 in the chat if you are having some type of breakthroughs. I once again thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, guys. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, a wonderful trading session, a wonderful new year. Guys, we're in a new decade. So let's crush it. Let's start our journey now. And let's move forward. Let's just have breakthroughs. Let's smash our goals, guys. Thank you very much for making it to this call tonight. Hope everyone has a wonderful night. Peace.